What's up, EuroFootball Daily, and welcome back to Scout Report. Today we're going to take a look at Jack Grealish's proposed move to Man City and assess whether he's actually worth the £100 million that the Premier League champions are reportedly ready to spend on him. With former academy boy Jadon Sancho having sealed his move to Man United for almost £30 million less, would City be paying too much for the England international? Let's find out. What is he worth to Aston Villa? To answer this, we can look at Jack Grealish's value to his boyhood club from a couple of angles. But first, let's see how the £100 million valuation came about. Following the 2019-20 campaign, Aston Villa's first season back in the Premier League since 2016, the club reportedly set his asking price at £70 million. And after no serious bids came in for him, he signed a new 5-year contract that September. In light of this, it was revealed 3 months later that Villa had upped their valuation by an extra £30 million. Soon after, a study by 21st Group, a sports intelligence company co-founded by Brentford director of football Rasmus Ankersen, found that the cost of finding a like-for-like replacement for the Villa captain would cost around £40 million in transfer fees, and about £4.5 million a year in wages. Across a 4-year contract, the fee and salary would amount to £14.5 million per year, over double the £6 million a year Grealish receives on his current contract. So, according to this, Villa would have to pay more than what they are currently investing to get a presumably similar player to Grealish, who has cost the club nothing in transfer fees due to being an academy product. However, they wouldn't have to pay astronomically more. Meanwhile, the Football Observatory also values him rather modestly between 30 and 40 million euros, less than a quarter the supposed worth of England teammate Phil Foden, and even less than Man United bench option Daniel James. But while the 21st Group study uses a data model based on the performance and value of over 100,000 players worldwide, it didn't take into account the wider costs associated with the potential loss of Grealish from Villa Park. He was of course instrumental in getting the club promoted back to the Premier League in 2019, and was even more influential in keeping them in the top flight the following year, leading the squad for both goals and assists, with his 14 goal involvements accounting for over a third of the side's total output, as they stayed up by a point on the final day of the season. He missed just 2 games all campaign, racking up the most minutes in the squad, and despite playing for a side battling the drop, ranked first in the league for progressive carries into the final third, and fouls won, and second for shot creating actions behind Kevin De Bruyne. That season, Villa generated roughly £106 million in television revenue from being in the Premier League, a figure which rose to £122 million the following campaign as they finished higher up in 11th. In 2018-19, the season they won promotion from the Championship, they made just £22 million in broadcasting revenue, a fall of 45% from the season before, largely due to a reduction in parachute payments from the Premier League as they contested their 3rd season in a row outside of the top flight. Grealish's performances are a big reason why they made £100 million more in television revenue last term, as they did in 2018-19. It's understandable to think it's not a total coincidence that this happens to be his minimum price tag. And for a club which has faced severe financial difficulties in the past, and since 2019 has spent huge sums in the transfer market in order to establish the side as a force in the Prem once again, the fact Grealish has been so integral to first keeping them in the top flight and then making them more competitive makes him almost priceless. Not only would it cost a lot and possibly a considerable amount more than the £40 million estimated in the 21st Group study to find a replacement of his calibre, but the loss of an inspirational captain who not only has a very specific skill set, but has literally carried the side through a number of games, would hit the club in a way that would be incredibly difficult to heal by just spending in the transfer market. Throw in the increased exposure he'll have got from playing an influential role for England at the European Championships, and the potential to grow the club's global fan base from staying in the Premier League, not to mention the attraction that a side captained by a maverick, homegrown talent possesses, and you can see why Villa value Grealish so highly and remain desperate to keep hold of him. And with the club now reportedly working on a new contract extension that will keep him at Villa Park until 2026, and see his wage rise from £100,000 to £150,000 a week, it could prove very difficult to sign him for this summer at least. Before I go any further, just a quick reminder to like this video and subscribe to EuroFootball Daily if you are enjoying it so far. We put out videos like this every single day on EuroFootball Daily, so make sure you're subscribed to not miss out. What is he worth to Man City? So it's clear that Jack Grealish is incredibly valuable to Aston Villa. He's their captain, has an unbreakable bond with the fanbase and community, and crucially has been integral to them staying in the Premier League. His value to Man City, however, is surely much smaller, even if they are, as reports have suggested, ready to spend £100 million to sign him. But there's no doubt he would improve the Premier League champions. In the 2020-21 campaign, he once again led the league for progressive carries and fouls won, despite playing over 1,000 fewer minutes than in the previous season due to a shin injury which kept him out for 12 games. And with better players around him like Ollie Watkins, Grealish took his game to a new level, ranking joint top of the league along with KDB on 0.86 goal creating actions per 90, and becoming a more penetrative dribbler too, with Callum Hudson-Odoi the only player in the Prem to come close to his 3.3 carries into the box per 90. Among players under the age of 25 across Europe's top 5 leagues, only RB Leipzig's Christopher Nkunku beat his 3.3 key passes per 90. Super creative, a world-class ball carrier, a master at winning set pieces and able to play on the left or in the centre, Grealish would be an excellent fit in Pep Guardiola's fluid forward line, which featured 8 different players last term, and had Torres, KDB, Sterling and Foden all spend time as a centre forward or false 9. But while they won the Premier League convincingly this year, their tally of 83 league goals was their worst showing since 2016-17, and their 78 expected goals their worst since before Pep took over, with Ilkay Gundogan their top scorer in all competitions on 17. Sergio Aguero, who had hit at least 20 Premier League goals in 5 of the previous 6 campaigns, played just 559 minutes of league action, and didn't score until March. With the City legend now having left the Etihad, the idea that the English champions would smash their transfer record on a creative player rather than a striker does seem a little odd. Of course the club could choose to splash £200 million plus on Grealish and Harry Kane, but spending that kind of money on a pair who by the end of the year will be 26 and 28 respectively wouldn't be in keeping with the way they've done business in previous windows. For example, Raheem Sterling and Leroy Sané were just 20 years old when they were signed for big money by the club, while Kevin De Bruyne had only just turned 24, and none of them cost anywhere near the £100 million they are supposedly willing to pay for Grealish. And with a player like Mahrez enjoying his finest season in a City shirt last season, Sterling expected to post much better numbers next term, Torres developing into a very impressive forward, and Foden already looking like a superstar, it's difficult to see exactly where Grealish fits, at least if he's expecting to start every week, as anyone would be if they commanded such a big transfer fee. And with no other clubs seemingly interested in signing the England international this summer, leaving it 12 months, by which point Villa may be willing to come down on their asking price, may make more sense. While City want to strengthen significantly to withstand the challenge of improving rivals like Chelsea and Man United, and the inevitable resurgence of Liverpool next term, it is surely a 25 to 30 goal a season player, and not a player like Grealish, who would fill the gap needed to seriously challenge on full front season after season. While there's no doubt he would be a huge asset to Guardiola, he doesn't hold anywhere near as much value to City as he does to Aston Villa. So guys, that was our scout report on whether Jack Grealish is really worth £100 million. What did you guys think of it, and do you think he is worth that amount of money? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to EuroFootball Daily and click on screen for another great EuroFootball Daily video. If you're looking for my recommendation of what to watch next, well, why don't you go check out Friday's Continental Club, where we discuss transfers your club should avoid this summer, featuring Cristiano Ronaldo, Miralem Pjanic and Hector Bellerin. Go check it out and show it some love, and I'll catch you next time.